Okay, hello, friends. I am talking here with Emilee Verduin, also known as Mud Hut, um, who uh, who is kind enough to humor me a bunch. The first piece that I ever made artistically was based on something that she had made, an image of Jonah that has made its rounds. And I've been working on this massive piece for a very long time, sometimes bothering you about it. And so I kind of wanted to talk to someone who is an artist directly to kind of get your thoughts and just to have a productive conversation. I think we could talk about process. We could talk about um, what its origins are, all that fun stuff. Matt was also invited, but I'm not getting any responses from him. So I'm just gonna assume he forgot or something very important or a deadline came up. So hi Emilee, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing pretty
Good.
well. Are you what was I just gonna ask? Are you still in Eastern Europe? Are you
I
are you
am.
you're still on the continent? Okay.
I'm transplanted, yeah, for the foreseeable future. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, you seemed more there was a bit where you came back and forth a little bit.
There was, and then I got married, and then I had to come back to Michigan again, and then I came back permanently, got a had a baby, got a house, so we're like here now. This is where we
Awesome.
are.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And again, congratulations. I know I congratulated you one on one, but now in front of everyone congratulate Emilee,
Appreciate
who's been,
that.
yeah, been absent from the corner, but present in life. Um,
Present in life. Well,
yeah,
congratulations on finishing this huge piece. I mean, how long have you been working on this?
I think about 2 years. I think
Wow.
about 2 years. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember when you were getting started. It seems like forever ago now.
yeah,
Yeah. That's dedication.
yeah. So I'll talk about first off the inspiration for it. Let me just switch this for 1 second. So this is an image that a lot of people know, which is um, Jonathan Pajot's image of everything, um, and you can see he made multiple circles around where Christ was, and there's 7 circles there, and he talked about that as symbolic of the seven. Um, and when I made my carving version of it, because my carving is different layers, I made different layers for each one of those circles, which you can see. And while I was doing that, I started thinking of an image. It just kind of came to me while I was making that image, the idea of the 7 circles each being another day of creation. They're essentially nested inside of each other like a Russian nesting doll. That was kind of the idea, and I started looking it up, believing that it had to have already existed. And what I found out was that it didn't. It didn't exist at all. And then I was like almost more excited because it felt like one of those rare instances where I felt like I was tapping into something that should exist separate. Like they say, what do you value? Do you want it to exist whether or not you exist, sort of a thing? And I
Yeah.
was thinking to myself, this has to already be right, and it didn't. And so then my wife encouraged me to make it giant. So there's a lot of patterns of sevens, but the first pattern is that each each circle is 7 inches across. So the
Nice detail.
entirety of the image is 49. So 7 times 7. And then there's going to be like an inch border to be 50. And the sketch that I first started off with it, this is this is where it started, where I was like, okay, it's going to be something like this. And then it kind of shifted a lot as I kind of went on. Um, yeah, and even certain ideas just kind of appeared as they kind of went on. So I didn't like that the black was bare. So you're going to see what I did to give the darkness substance, like a chaotic substance was the desire. Um, do you have any thoughts or anything you want to share before I go into like deeper, detailed stuff?
Not really. I love that you did 7 in like, the sizing is very that's cool. That's nice. That's a nice detail there.
Hmm.
Um, I can't believe just how massive it is. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
It's a
great. I
lot of
like the
little
sketch too.
stuff
I kinda
along the
wanna
way.
see the, like, sketch. You gotta send me a picture of it or something sometime because you're right, I can't believe this doesn't already exist. It seems like something that should. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. And
I
so
feel
I
like I have
use,
a lot of diagrams that look vaguely similar to this in my notebooks where I'm trying to figure out when I was doing my own creation thing, but I didn't quite get this, so that's really neat.
yeah, I'll zoom all the way in. You can see, yeah. Yeah, really basic. It's got Mandela look to it. It's got it like a lot of people are like, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. And I'm like, no, I actually can't find can't find a full version of it. Um, I think there's another aspect of it of its size, which is I want it to which is people's experience when they see it in its entirety, is it kind of smacks you, which if it was smaller it doesn't assault you. I don't know what term I should use.
Impress you. It's like it makes a huge impression.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is really cool because now we're used to looking at things on, like, little screens and everything's kind of really
Right,
tiny
right,
and
right.
portable, but I really like that it's something you feel like, "I wish I could stand in front of it."
Right.
Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah. And I'm realizing I grew up Catholic, and there was an image of a saint on either side of the altar, and it was something like this. Like it was like a circle, and it was carved. So yeah, Hezi is saying demands attention. That's a great way of saying it. Um,
Mhm.
okay, I'm gonna share. Is there a better way? Yeah, I'll put us at the bottom there. So that's the image in its entirety with much better lighting because I got to arrange it for just the photograph. So you can see the 7 circles. And then I took one on the side because I like this idea of things that have to be experienced in person, exactly what you're saying. And there's a certain part of what the image is the depth. The depth is a feature, not a bug. Um,
Mhm.
so that's why I kind of showed it on the side there. Um, and then as we go to see the first round, actually, I should put on the side for that one. So this first image is to show you that even you're going to repeatedly see an image of 7s. So the light going up, there's 7 lights, there's 7 beams going down. And then
Mhm.
as we get to the arms of it, there's 7 arms coming down off of it, right? So it's like the menorah. Um,
Right.
that's one of the versions of the menorah that they sometimes have. It kind of goes like that instead of being circular. So preserving that kind of an image and having these images of it's intensifying even in its value. So the bronze, the silver, and then the gold, right? Like as you're going
Mhm.
deeper into it, and then you can see I did this trick that they do in like kids crafts where you take tissue paper and you put glue and then it'll put like a texture onto stuff, oftentimes
Yeah, yeah.
colored. But I just did uh, like a plain white and then painted it black. And the feature is supposed to be that the darkness has a texture, that it's carrying that notion of the chaos that I
Mhm.
yeah, you can kind of see it rippling like a dark water almost.
Yeah,
Not
I like that. It wouldn't have been the same if it was plain, if it was flat.
well, part of it was I laid it out and it was I started putting all the colors down and I was just like, that is a large space of nothing
Yeah.
at the very bottom of the image. So how do I fill that even though I know it has to be black? It's one of the largest circles and it like the top I even originally was just going to do gold on top and black on the bottom and had this idea of light bursting forth, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, you can see that like a burst of light and then reaching down like it's pouring down almost like water. Um, yeah.
It's it's nice though because it's a suggestion of something. Like it's still chaos, it's still empty, but it's like with a possibility of something.
Hmm. Almost like static, like
Yeah.
yeah. And then that is going to split into the waters. So as we go up, this is the waters above and the waters below. So that's sky and sea. And you're going to see the symbol of right hand, left hand. So the top is a cloud with 7 and then 2 threes breaking off of it. So the cloud at the top is the 7. And then the cloud on the right has the right hand is rain, and it's dark and heavy, but you kind of get a sense of life giving. Whereas the cloud on the left is chaotic. It's it's definitely destructive. Um, yeah, and there's an element which I didn't catch in that one, so I'll show. Is it almost is like a crown at the top with the other clouds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you count the ones that are physical, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So even the carved clouds, there's 7 of them,
Nice.
right? Like, yeah.
I know you had told me that before about the theme of seven in here, but I'd kind of forgotten because it'd been a while. And even adding it in the detail of like the light coming out is now that you say it, I'm like, oh, it's obvious, it's everywhere, which is cool
Right.
because it's like fractal, but you didn't do the kind of you didn't go into that kind of typical fractal art thing that you see a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
like
If
something you
if
have
you
to
don't
set,
notice
like
it, you don't notice it. You don't have
exactly.
to notice
It's
it. It's
subtle.
not like
Yeah.
I'm forcing you to look at this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
not like psychedelic art or like computer generated fractal kind of thing, but it's repetitious, which is a really nice, subtle like detail.
Hmm. And then your bottom image related to the waters is one of chaos. It almost, I'll say this here, it's almost like an anus, like it's like top and bottom, right? Like head and tail. Um, and even as you're going down, you can see the colors at the top. That is like the color of heaven. It's literally the same color blue. But as you go down, it's starting to become darker, brings in more of the purples, and then as you come all the way down, it's purple and then it's black, right? So top and bottom, left and right. So the bottom is always a symbol of chaos or change. Um, yeah, so that is part of the chaos of the waters, the abyss, if you will. Um, and if you count the major ripples coming off of it, it's also 7, right? So 3 on each side and then the center one. So, um, yeah, the clouds were also a strange experience because you're taking something fluffy and making it into a carving where it has physical existence to it, sort of a thing.
Clouds are hard, I think, in almost any medium.
Yeah,
It's one of those really difficult things for most people.
yeah, yeah. And now we're getting into day 3, which is plants. So at the top, this is supposed to be the tree of life, and the 7, obviously the fruit. Like it looks very clearly like a menorah. I don't think I'm surprising anyone by that. And then the image of like the plant that's 2 coming out is my knowledge of good and evil. That was kind of the idea behind it ish. Um, and if you count the number of fruit on each bush, it's 7, right?
Right.
I don't know, this image I really like, even just this tree, and have thought of
Mhm.
making a smaller version that's just this tree, framed by a crown of thorns. Um,
Yeah,
but
I'd have to
that's
agree. It's very appealing as an image.
yeah, yeah. The the menorah is described with branches and having almond blossoms and all this stuff, which is tree-like, but I
Right.
very rarely see it depicted as tree-like. So it's me trying to get what I haven't gotten elsewhere. And then as we're coming down, you can see the fruit on the right side. This is stuff that makes a lot of sense. And if you get into the numerology and this stuff, like here is an olive tree, okay, right on the one side, that's an olive tree. It's got black and green olives, and it has 21 of each color olive because that's 3 times 7.
Okay, is this the sunflower has to be on the right hand side, right? I'm seeing 2 images of on the same curve here.
Yes, yeah. So this is it's going down. So as you
Okay.
go to the right, you're first the olives, and then you can kind of see the circle in the corner there of the olive tree. That's the circle of the one just beside it. You go down.
So how did you decide what plant, like how did you decide what kind of vegetation to put on each, like how did you pick? Was it
Yeah, this was way more chaotic and has far less of a pattern
Mhm.
to it. There becomes images that I see as easier to figure out and other ones that are harder. So over here, for instance, you have the sunflower because it's also an edible flower. Like it's a seed that we eat. The tulips and the lavender, like lavender is it's something that calms you, right? Like with
Mm.
people who get into essential oils, right? Like it's calming.
Yeah.
Bamboo is like a great structure sort of a thing. And all of these vegetables are related to paradise, right? Like when the melons and even the mushroom, these are all good, nice mushrooms. On And if you look on the right side at the top, you can see that there's wheat. If you can see that hill
Yeah. Yeah.
at the very top, there's wheat, which is the staff of life. But as you go and the olives would be used in the oil for anointing. These are things that are just well known and easy to understand. The stuff on the left, as you're going up, are things like nightshades, which a lot of people have allergies to. The flowers are weeds. It's instead of soft clover, it's ivy, including poison ivy, is coming up on the side, and the left side is grapes because that makes wine. And wine is an
Oh,
intoxicant. So intoxicants are also on the left side.
okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
when you can sort of zoom in over here, you can see the nightshades. You can see the flowers that's dandelion, that's Scottish thistle, that's the yellow one. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a weed all over my area. Even above the mushrooms, that's supposed to be mint because mint is also a weed. It takes over.
Yeah, it does.
It's so is it good? Like yes, it's good. And
Possible to get out.
yes, yeah. How
Yeah.
do you get rid of it, right?
Yeah, it's clingy. Not good.
And those I think this is those fungi that you see in this image are poisonous and psychedelic, right?
So
Still,
intoxicating and negative and yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
one of them is just like smells like crap as well. Like there's one that's just like smells like rotting flesh. It's one of those ones. And that tree is a cedar of Lebanon, and that's great for building, but it also is used in pagan worship, right? It's related to a whole bunch of different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a interesting, that's a nice thing to throw in there.
Yeah. Now, some of it was like if you look in, for instance, the desert area, the desert on the right, and as you're moving up into like more fertile ground, at the top right on the right hand side, you have a rose of Sharon, which looks like a menorah as well. On the left, you have an actual rose bush, which in the fall has thorns to it, right?
Mhm.
On the right side in the desert, you have dragon fruit, you have aloe, which is soothing, and you have agave, which is sweet, right? On the left hand side, these are all edible cactus. You have your prickly pears and all this stuff that if you're in a pinch you can survive on, but are also horrible, right? Like you need tools
Yeah.
because they're gonna tear you apart.
They have those little hairs. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I had to include. I mean the prickly pear to me is beautiful. In Malta they have prickly pear everywhere. It's delicious.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'd have to soak them, and you get the little hair things in you, and it's
Yeah.
awful. But the flowers are gorgeous, and
Yeah.
yeah,
But still, you can't really touch it. So you
yeah,
have to be careful. Yeah, that's a good one.
you gotta be careful. And then even as you're coming out of the waters, the land on the right side, cattails are actually edible, by the way. So you have cattails; they look like plants. On the left side, it's like algae, it's slime, right? You can kind of see it on the
Yeah.
rocks. So it's again still part of the creation, but like only if you're really in a pinch do you want to do you want to be
Less
eating that.
desirable. Yeah.
Yeah. And you still have moving away from the top, which is like lush foresty. Is there more? Yeah. You move away from the lushness at the top, um, to go down into an area which is more and more dry, less fertile, um, and icky.
More marginal, you could say. Like
Yeah.
closer to the wilderness, or I mean, the sea or the
Yeah.
water counts probably as wilderness too, or is
It
chaos.
does. It does. Yeah. 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 And there's a reminder is the water chaos is salt water. So it is
Right.
deserty, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Do you know what the largest desert in the world is, technically?
Oh, somewhere in Asia. But I can't
It's the
maybe.
Arctic. The Arctic is
Oh,
because
okay. I
of
mean, right, no
it.
like no rainfall or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
Nothing
No
grows.
precipitation.
Yeah.
Now there's water everywhere, but good luck, right? Like it's yeah, yeah, yes.
Good luck.
So now we're moving into the heavens. Um, Top of the image, you have, so we're going to go down the right first. So top of the image is the sun. This I found is an Orthodox image that originally had Christ at the center, but because my top images are all related to how God or Christ is depicted within Scripture, I didn't feel bad of switching, and I didn't feel it was sacrilegious to turn the sun, like to turn Christ into the sun, right?
Yeah, that
Even the
makes sense.
image had him like shining. So he's flanked by angels, and even if you counted the stars, the top stars are 7 pointed, and then as you go down, you're lessening in your complexity, right? So then you have
Wow.
6 of the 6, 4 of the 4. The left hand side is odd. The right hand side is even, going down, right? Obviously,
Such an
also
incredible amount of detail.
thank you.
Yeah.
And
I
then
love the way you did the sun. I'm sorry. I love the like how many like you did that just very well. And
yeah,
the
it's
stars popping out, like some of them, but not all of them. Just I don't know,
yeah.
it looks great.
Let me go high in detail there. Yeah. So well, it's too far away. Yeah, you can see it's all making it be the highest part of it as well. Was a decision like that. How carved it is.
Like elevated further out.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
Nice.
Yeah, because it's about the height.
Which is something you'd have to see in person. Like this really feels like you have to be in person.
Yeah, that you want to touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as we go down, we hit some biblically accurate angels there. There's my cherubim, ox, eagle, lion, face of a man. The face of a man looks a lot like Babylonian throne guardians. And then if you pick a wing, the wing will either have 7 or 3 on it. One has 1. So even if you count up the little ones, there's 1 1 and 2 3s. So that's also 7. So it's 7 7 7 7. Like, yeah, 7's all the way down, friends.
Yep.
And then this was an image I think you actually shared initially on Instagram. That's where I got it. This image of the wheel within wheels covered in eyes.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Covered in the bronze. And then if you're looking at the eyes are all, like, the eyes that are on them have gold in the center, silver as the whites, and then like a bronze on the outside. Carrying some of those ideas. And then the cherubim, all, like, some of the highlights are with the metallic looking paint. And this is like a weird detail. I mean, it's all weird detail. The stars that are behind the cherubim that look Babylonian, those are stars that you'll see. People who identify as Assyrian will use that image as part of
Okay,
of,
wow.
like, that point of star. Doesn't, yeah. So, and these are right hand. These are entirely good.
Mm-hmm.
On my right hand, kind of want to start on the right hand, you can see these are odd numbers. So they're pentagrams. A good number of the pentagrams are upside down, right? Which, though biblically aren't associated with bad stuff, later on do get associated with occultism. 3-pointed stars, people don't even draw stars that way. That's not, like, to what extent is that even stars? So we're decreasing. And even if you're looking at the image behind, the stars in the background are silver, like we're diminishing in the brightness. I think seraphim are snakes. That's my little spiel. We'll talk about that some other time. So I made it look like a snake, and you can see it's right next to a falling star.
Nice.
Because there is a snake angel that falls, right? So, and again, looking at the 7s, if you look at any of those bundles of scales, they're all in bundles of 7. The little, close enough. Yeah, you can just trust me on it.
At
And
this
then,
point, I know I have to guess.
yeah. You can really zoom in and try to figure it out. This realm, so angels and stars overlap in scriptural depictions. But as we hit this area, I put angels representing the planets. This was something that I think is a little bit controversial, but whatever. I think the gods are angelic powers, some of which are fallen. And so on top of the planets are the gods that they represent. So that's Mercury. Mercury is the messenger god, so he's holding writing. Venus with music, and then that's what's it called? Jupiter with a lightning bolt, right? It's Zeus, and that is, like, the way he's holding a staff is very much what Zeus is depicted as.
Okay.
And on this side, this is the angel Michael, but he's connected with the god of war. So he's on Mars, and even the way that the spear is pointing looks like the symbol for Mars, which is the symbol for masculinity.
Right.
And that right there is Saturn, with his scythe. That is how the god Saturn would be depicted, which I didn't know how I feel, because Saturn, I think, is also Moloch.
There's a lot of associated things there. I can't untangle it all, but
yeah. So he's on the left side, right? Like, even
right.
where people go. Yes, Jan God, you are right. Saturn is not a god; he is a Titan. But you know what I mean. He's a deified entity, whatever, father of gods. So he's still looking royal, but yeah. And then, the moon being silver and actually pock-faced, like it had scars almost on it, with these dark-looking angels that I found another image of at an Orthodox church, and copied a lot of that from there.
I can see that. I can see the iconography coming out there.
Yeah.
There's a couple that I really like that have the same configuration. I really like that.
I initially wanted the moon to be a crescent moon, but I opted for this, and I stand by it. But because I still think that it holds a notion of chaos. And I initially wanted a lot more at the bottom, but kind of decided, no, I kind of like the bottom of it being kind of bare, where the moon is. But I don't know. Yeah, I still don't.
That makes sense. There's sort of a diminishing. It seems to make sense. I don't know. It makes visual sense with it kind of diminishing towards the bottom, kind of like everything.
Yes.
Repeating the earlier, or the bigger spheres. That makes sense.
That's good. That's very good. Yeah, I think you're right. This is why, because I don't think we actually understand our pieces as much as there's like intention behind it. I need someone else to notice things and go, oh yeah, I do think that's what's happening.
Right. Well, if you look at something for too long, you lose all perspective of what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this has a lot of moving parts.
So now we're into the realm of birds and fish. So on this one, eagle at the top, you can see that there's a dove on the right hand, and on the left hand there's a crow. Let me just shift that so you can see it. Yeah. And then as we go down one, you can see on the right hand side is the stuff that look more like birds, the birds that look like birds. And on the left hand side are the birds that are unclean and horrible. And you get down to like things like bats that don't look like anything. The owl at the bottom is because Lilith may appear in the text, or it might be an owl. And it's debated if that's Lilith or, and yeah.
I think I've heard that. Yeah. She associated with jackals, maybe? Or is it just the owl? Is it like things that cry in the desert? Is that the...
Okay. Yeah, you got it. Well, and even if you're looking on that left-hand side, like the vulture at the top, which is huge. It's an incredibly large animal, but it's also filthy and disgusting and black, and with its bald face. It's just, weird. Yeah, and bats. I had to include bats as birds to show that progression of chaos.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, everything on the left is like dark, decay, nocturnal, was it scavengers, crows and vultures and...
Yeah.
So what are the birds? What are the birds on the... They look like mostly water birds, maybe?
Well, so as you go lower, it's more watery. But you got pigeon at the top, because a pigeon and a dove are related animals. I went with the snow owl at top, even though it's unclean. It still looks so like the brightness, the pure white kind of look. At the bottom, you have more waterfowl. So you have a seagull and a duck, which are like a duck is clean, but they're also dirty. Birds are, And then I found a lot of this is taken from a mosaic that I found that was of creation, but it separated. It just had, it separated the different days into different sections, whereas I kind of put it all together. Right. Which I also took their images of fish. So there's images of fish on the right are the fish that look like fish. But the deeper you go, the more monster-like they are. So you have sharks at the bottom of that. And then on the... Yeah, go ahead.
What are the black and white fish there? The little pair
I think those are koi. I just
on the
kind of,
right. Oh, okay, yeah. Just
I
they
just,
they go together, and nothing else goes together. They're like little fish couple.
yeah, I originally was going to I was going to double up some stuff, but then I was just like, this is a terrible idea. I have done enough. I continuously thought, okay, I don't think there's much more to do. And then I just went, oh no, there's so much more.
I love the way you did the fish with the yellow fins being consistent and everything, and the scales. And fish are really hard. I've had a few different times of trying to get fish down. I find them very difficult. Like the shape is weird, the texture is weird. It's very
Yeah.
hard to communicate. So I feel like that worked out pretty well.
A lot of the fish on the right is me taking from other pieces. A lot of this is actually collage, just to be like I collected things and I said, okay, I'm going to put this here, I'm going to put that there. Like I, some of them are literal tracings from bestiaries and stuff.
Nice.
And because I'm still trying to figure myself out as an artist. To me, the art is putting the stuff together. Not like if you asked me to draw a picture of you, it would be there would be no resemblance. It would not. I couldn't do that if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Everybody has different like ways that they approach things.
yeah. And then so then your left hand side is the stuff, the fish that are not fish like. So what are these things? How are these fish?
The
Um,
octopus is very cool. And what is the or towards the bottom, like the orange and white-ish thing? Is that a mollusk? Is that what that's
Yeah,
called?
yeah.
Yeah, that
Like
was cool.
even having at the bottom shellfish and everything
Mhm.
on this side are unclean for eating. So I wanted to include different kinds of shellfish, even at the bottom, the crab, because it's like a spider, and these things that are like starfish and anemones. It's like, how are these things? How are these things even animals? Like they're so strange to me.
Right.
And then the poisonous pufferfish and a stingray, which not only doesn't look like a fish but also can sting you. Like, what is going on? What is this stuff? Um, and at the very bottom, 7 points to my Leviathan. Right, that is to me it's supposed to be Leviathan, which I do as a seven-headed sea dragon, because it says, and he made the Tanim, which are sea monsters. That's included in the Genesis account. But I think if you read it in like the English Standard Version, it will say the great creatures of the deep.
Which is not as descriptive.
I want sea monsters. It says
Yeah.
the great. Yeah.
Monsters are real. This is like a factual description of how things are.
Yeah. And so this is a
The
common.
head is like raised it's
Yep.
like pulling away too. Does that kind of mirror the top, but less?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nice.
It's the most. It may not be good. Like it's all this stuff is still good, right? But it has to convey um, not aggression, but something intimidating that you can see it falling, even though I'm not depicting them as fallen.
It's intimidating. Those eyes are really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's creepy.
The
Good
eyes
job.
are actually the highest point in it. Like it comes a little bit more forward than the
Mhm.
rest of it. And now we're going into the human being, which even if you see how the animals are flanked, it's so that it's a cherub, right? That the lion is to the right and the ox to the
Nice.
bovine to the left and the eagle to the top. There are 12s, by the way, Cassandra. There's a bunch of 12s. I can't get into everything. Okay, it's a bunch of 12s. Um, Eve coming out of Adam's side, um, and she's a redhead as she's supposed to be.
Is she supposed to be?
I mean, that's part of my feeling. I also married a redhead, so I'm biased.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Okay.
but yeah. Adam is means red, so
Right.
there's Edom is red.
Hmm. No, that checks out. That's nice.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that you did the cherubim thing again there. That's cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And for them being asleep, I put gold over their eyes because it's like a sleep in glory instead of darkness. So it's almost like a halo. Like you can see like a glory coming out of their eyes. And then we have on the right side, you can see the animals, especially clean ones. But as we go down, they become unclean. Where we got pigs at the bottom there. But even if you look at things next to each other, there is a lion and lamb, lamb and wolf. Those are in different passages in Isaiah where they're put next to each other as though they're like the lion and the lamb will lay down together, right? To show that we're in a state of goodness. So the lion is unclean, but he's still like the king of the animals. So that's why I put him on the right hand side. Right? These are, again, the images from the bestiaries. Where
You can
see,
tell. Yeah, I was going to say this is very medieval all of a sudden.
Yes. And again, there's some tracing happening here because this is basically the piece that I learned how to make art on. And then as you go down on the left, snakes and reptiles. There's a worm in with the snakes because the snake and the worm eat dust because I think that they're lined up with the Satan. As you go down, you have the frogs and the salamanders and the things going out into the water. And you can even see at the bottom there's because the bottom is all the stuff that Satan is compared to, right? So the alligator, the crocodile, the dragon, the creature in the desert, the scorpion, the snake, the worm, and you can even so you see the very bottom creature is a snake coming out of the water. Yeah. And now we're at the center image, which is everything all together. This is a combination of everything. So you can see the vegetation, the lion and the lamb, the left hand, right hand of the lights in the heavens, along with the birds and the lion and the lamb laying down together. And you can see, if you zoom in, you can see even in there's 7 circles that is even in that. So it's a 7 inside of the 7th. And if you look at the details, so there's the tree of life at the top, tree of knowledge of good and evil. And then look at away from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is the snake, and look at where he's positioned. He is under Eve's heel.
Yeah. Nice detail.
Yeah. And that's it. That's the end of it. I know you don't have too much time left. So what of this is the most interesting to you that maybe you want to talk about?
Geez, I don't know. I mean, I've tried to do creation images before a few times, but this setup that you have, the repetition of 7, the left and the right, I love the microcosm within like the greater whole, within the macrocosm that you've got there. Like, I don't know. What did you learn? Did this change your did you learn anything while doing it, or did you kind of have it all? Do you know what I mean? Like, did it change your perspective on the way you're looking at the story or anything, or the way you would interact with it? Because it's so in depth, I feel like, and it took a long time. Like you're incorporating so many themes that are like, I don't know. I mean, we all got into Peugeot a while ago. All of that, all of the repetition and everything. I don't know. Did it change your perspective?
Well, so some of it was trying to represent things. So for example, when my friend looked at this, I wanted it to look like a wound in his side because I see that as a Christological image. of his
Right.
bride is being birthed from a wound in his side, right? The image of blood and water coming out of the side of Christ. And my friend grasped that when he looked at this. He went, wait. And just making it look like a wound communicated that. So I feel like there's a lot of different things that I was learning along the way that I really had to focus and be like, okay, what goes on the right hand, what goes on the left hand? And some of
Yeah.
it you can't do it all. It doesn't work. Because
Yeah.
like there's not enough, for instance, there's not enough clean animals. There's a very, very minimal amount of clean animals, and there's a lot of unclean animals. And then also to have left and right, but also up and down. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, this is bottom right. So is that so a pig, for instance, is it's fine for Gentiles to eat. So it's still an edible animal, so I put it on the right, whereas a snake, like a cobra, not so much. We don't farm cobras, so left hand, right? Like, but I'm just, some of it's just shots in the dark, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
how do we depict those things? um and having to organize it, I think, also organizes your thoughts.
That's I guess that's what I was getting at. Did it because I know when I started trying to do it, just trying to layer all the images, and I definitely don't have the depth of knowledge that you have when it comes to all the imagery and just, I don't know, knowing the Bible a lot better than I do. That's just, there's so much information to try to organize into this schema. Um, I don't know, just the amount of detail and background and everything is crazy to me. I didn't catch the coming out of the side thing either. Eve coming out of the side. Now I'm like, duh, duh. Um, yeah, but that's like, that's just so perfect. I don't know. That just clicks for so many other things. Um,
Yeah, and
Mhm.
so a lot of the organizing of the thoughts, but you always, it's always trade-offs. So in your images of creation, the two different Mandela looking ones, you have the days across from each other. And I think that communicates the idea that you have days 1, 2, 3, and then you fill those days in days 4, 5, 6, right? Where like the darkness and the light that's divided in the first day, that becomes the lights in the heavens. The
Mhm.
next day, it's the waters from the waters. So you have the sky from the sea. So you have the fish and the birds. So they're filling up those sections that were made. And I think I can see that in that layout of the circles, the Mandela sort of look of your creation. Whereas I wanted this, like, and I was even trying to figure out, should the center be the lowest point or the highest point? And I
Hmm.
kind of went with lowest because I wanted it to have this zoom and to have this idea of it being nested, each one being nested in the other.
Yeah.
But you lose everything. You lose things in every single decision that you make.
Yeah, of course. You can't get it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that's fine. Just there's still so much. So like
Yeah.
I don't know. I love like when you zoom out and see the bigger image and just the repetition is so striking, but without there being like an annoying kind of repetition. I don't know. Like it makes a lot of sense. I feel like I need to look at this for a lot longer time separately. But,
Well, that's part of its function is not a, oh, that's interesting. It's the feeling I got from your Jonah image the first time I saw it, is like, well, I just want to stare at this for a while. Which is what I think a good piece of liturgical art is. You don't have to get any of the symbolism. You can just look and enjoy it, or you can kind of stare at it and it becomes like, my church is going to let me hang this up in there, and it's going to be something that people can just, if they're not paying attention to the sermon, kind of doze off looking at, and will
that's
reward you for
great.
doing so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I don't know. There's like if I feel like if I could just stare at it for a long time, and after, you've kinda gone through the different pieces, but it's like you start cross-referencing things in a way that connects, like like connects them internally somehow because everything ends up layering over each other. I'm not sure how to say that. Just that
Yeah.
seeing it laid out that way, I almost like I don't think I have time anytime soon, but I kind of would love to like uh riff off of your like this piece and do like a because you did that with my Jonah thing. It would be kind of cool to ping pong something like this back and forth, but
Well,
um
if you wanted to turn it into a drawing, and you can even take what I did and simplify it, so you don't need as many
I'd
plants or
have
as many.
to because it's
Yeah.
huge.
Well, and even
Um
when I first did it, because of the size, I just was planning on having the carved stars and not the ones in the background. The ones in the background were added because I felt it was not like when you really see the night sky, it's so many stars.
Yeah, it
Um,
definitely I'm glad you added those that it fills it up in a really nice way that's, like, feels natural or something.
well, and when I made the abyss at the bottom, all the water at the bottom, it was so much blue that I was like, I need so much color to sort of balance these things out. So some of those decisions were just practical. Like, how do I
Mhm.
make it so that it's not just black and blue? Because the bottom is so much black and blue. Um,
Yeah. It does balance out, though. There's a nice, like, undulating effect, kinda, like, this like, your attention kinda shifts back and forth in this really nice way between, like, above and below.
right, right.
So I think you pulled that off. I think it works. I think
Thank
that
you.
looks good.
Yeah, and so each one is like a different set of decisions to be made. And just to answer something that Cassandra is asking, there's a ton of freehand elements. All of the plants are basically freehand elements. The animals, it went back and forth. It was like, and sometimes I would adapt things. So I would find a depiction of a whole bunch of reptiles and I would trace them, but then I would change what their faces looked like to make them all sort of the same kind of a thing. The Leviathan, that's all me. Everything on the left hand of the sea creatures, that's all me. And the cherubim, the actually, I have sketches next to me, so I can show you how it started. Because I wanted to do things in layers, I also did sketches so that I could replicate the image over and over again, right? So this is that's originally there's like a fish going down, and I had the Leviathan on the sides. But then when I made it, I was like, because then I once it's a physical, actual thing, I can move it wherever I want it to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and different image for the tree of life. I switched that up, but then it's like all the animals all together. These are basically tracing, like tracing different images, but changing the eyes. Um, and rearranging where a lot of stuff is. Um, but then um, as I go down, sorry, these are birds, and some of these birds aren't even on there. Like I did way more, and then carved, and then laid out, and tried to see where stuff could or would lay. Right, like there's two separate options for what the eagle would look like. Right, this is from a photograph that I then changed the appearance of.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, the falling star, that's all me. Images of the sun. Um, yeah, this is just me freehanding for that stuff. But yeah, you can see I didn't even have halos on them at this point. So I was like, yeah, they should have halos. Scales weren't added on yet. That's like, yeah, that's kind of how the sausage is made, and it's styrofoam, right? Like it's foam core. So if I switch it this way, it looks like this. That's the back. Yeah, and then I have a friend making a frame because I found that because the styrofoam can be crushed and stuff.
Mhm.
When I made my image of your thing, which is right over here, the frame really makes it pop too. So then I have to
Yeah.
find someone who's willing to do a custom frame for me.
Yeah.
For
Are you gonna
49
try to
inches.
do a circular thing, or does it I mean, is it gonna be square?
Yeah, it's going to be two 12-pointed stars. My friend did it where it's like, yeah, it's like that, 12 on 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's gonna be really cool hanging up. What was your favorite part of making it, and what was, like, the hardest part? Like, which part do you look at and you're like, "That was really enjoyable, I like this," and which thing was, like, the most difficult? 'Cause it's such a long-term project. I imagine sometimes it was frustrating.
I really, really got a lot out of the creatures in the heavens. I really, like, I made a lot of executive decisions, if you will, that I was like, oh, okay. Because I knew that some people will be, if someone stares and they go, wait a second, is that the gods or the Titan Saturn who ate his children? Right? Like, I like that there's little bits of that, but I have reasons behind it. Um, I really enjoyed because I've been looking for someone to depict a seraphim in the way that I did because it says that they're snakes, but I want it to be awe-inspiring, but could be scary, but isn't. So it's weird balancing of a bunch of different aspects that it is dragon-like, but also isn't fallen. Like,
Where is it reference the snakiness of it?
yeah.
Where could I find that?
So it's that the word is seraphim, and seraphim means burning one. But even in Isaiah itself, if you look up seraph, so seraphim is how you make things plural in Hebrew. So seraphim is the burning ones, but it also means snakes. There's just no way around it. It is in Isaiah itself. It'll talk about fiery serpents. Sometimes it's because of the sensation of burning when they bite you. Also, they glimmer like
Mhm.
bronze, and the word bronze is related to another word for snake, nachash,
Okay.
um, which emanating light or burning or all these different aspects. And if you look into Egyptian depictions of what spirits look like, you'll find winged serpents. Um, and
Interesting.
I just did a presentation last week, so a lot of people know this. Um, we have images from the time of Hezekiah, so the King Hezekiah, and that's during when Isaiah would have been having his vision. And someone makes a seal that depicts Yahweh as just a sun disk. So there's no image, it's just like a circle, but it's crowned, and on the left and on the right, there's two snakes. So you can see some people were thinking of angels as it's so alien, right? Like the way that how do snakes move and
Oh, yeah, everything about it is, like, it's surprising, it's, like, you never know which way they're gonna go, it's unexpected.
yeah,
Uh, just the sensation of seeing a snake and being like, is, like,
yes,
relates to the I don't know, something otherworldly popping out, I guess.
yeah. So they get associated with divinate. The word for divination, like divining, is also nachash, which is snake, like in Genesis 3. So it's the diviner, but it's also the serpent, but it's also the shining one, the bronze, the
Mhm.
brass. So even the scales are like the bronze color, specifically to give it that
Interesting,
idea.
interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I think that was just about some of my favorite bits. It was a lot of decisions. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
no kidding.
and some of them I just didn't know if it would pan out until I did. Because again, like the blackness being the chaotic substance with the tissue paper, I was just like, this is either going to look so stupid or it's going to completely work, and I don't know which one.
Yeah, that sums up like the whole creative process.
Because I
Yeah.
know that from like kindergarten crafts where you're like
No, I
little,
remember doing that. I
yeah,
remember it's like glue and tissue paper or something
yes,
like
yeah.
that.
And you like cut
Yeah,
out different colors and it almost
yeah,
looked like stained glass. And
yeah.
I just remember it being like, I think that would work. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Yeah.
Well, it worked out. It looks good.
Thank you, Emily. Yeah, and so part of also what my intention was with having the conversation with you, I think this is what I'll end on, is that I'm going to hang this up, and I know it's going to confuse people. So I want there to be like a link or a QR code that if people click on it, they can see us talking about this for
Sure.
an hour,
Yeah.
and through that they could be like, oh, okay, I think I understand a little
There's a
bit.
lot of context, a lot of background. It's definitely interesting to hear and hear your explanation of it. Like so much background. It's crazy.
I got to be more patient because I want to show it to more people and not explain anything and see what communicates without explanation.
Hmm.
If that, yeah,
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
because my friend got the Bride of Christ Eve as a symbol of the and the blood coming out of his side and all that business.
I really like that. I'm gonna use that later. I'm
Do it.
making that. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. So my follow up hope after a conversation I just had with you right before this is to somehow figure out a way of taking pictures to make an image that could be printed by other people. I still imagine that that's going to be very expensive, and it's not typical shape. It's circular. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's ways to. You gotta find a photographer. I think. If photographer friend or a professional or whatever can definitely help you out with that. Make a neat like sticker. Make a neat. You can put
Yeah.
that in a lot of places. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Emily, thank you again for your time. This was a great conversation. You are long gone from the corner, yet are willing to be bothered by me like once a year. To
I'm
come out.
glad. I enjoy it. I'm really glad to be able to see this finished. I can't believe you got it. It's like really awesome to see you get that done. And I don't know. I'm also glad to hear all the detail behind it because I'm interested in that story and the symbolism and everything else too. It's not, it's not bothersome. It's awesome. So
Awesome.
congratulations on finishing that. It was great.
Thank you, thank you. After this, now that I'm finished this, the next thing I'm going to work on is that image for Rebecca that I just talked through with you. That I'm
Yes.
like, okay, how
Yeah.
do I lay this out? So
Yeah. You had a lot of great ideas for that. Unfortunately, not something I'm going to get to. So I'll pass that on to you.
would it be easier if someone had already, I don't know, like when someone has already done something to then be like, oh, I can do my version of that as opposed to, yeah,
Maybe. I think for me, I'm just super interested in the creation, like imagery in particular. That one I keep coming back to it. So I don't know. I don't have a strong emotional connection to the Rebecca thing. I'm sure there's plenty to like dig into technically, but the creation thing for me, it just hooks me. I don't know. I can't help it.
yeah. Well, and here, let me show you one last thing before you go. I got to see. When I was trying to figure out what it would look like, I made I made a little tiny version of it,
Whoa.
and that's when I realized that something tiny, it could be made small, and it could be printed small. I think there's too much detail there for it to be shrunk, but there could
Hmm.
be something that's made that then
Sure.
could be made into um, what that is on a much smaller scale.
Yeah. Yes. It like not minimalized. What's like the maybe
Condensed?
minimalized?
Yeah, maybe.
Condensed.
Yeah,
Condensed. It needs to be condensed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so maybe you can be the one to make this. I made one based on yours, and now you can make one based on mine.
That
So
would
that we
actually
can
be
get,
sweet. That's yeah. I'd love for you to
because
send me the layout you had at the beginning, and I might actually, if I could find the time. I've got a couple other things
that'd
going,
be
but it'd be
incredible. Yeah.
super
So we
cool.
have
I would love to do that.
we have a poster size, because I think 49 inches is kind of big.
Yeah,
It's a bit much.
it's a little large.
Plus frame. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, but can I scan it, Yoav? I don't know.
I don't
Okay.
think you could scan that.
No, no. I'll figure it out with photographers. I do have a couple friends who are photographers, but photographer is like a weird one because you don't know what someone being a photographer means. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Does that
Yeah,
mean you have you own a camera, or do you mean like you actually understand how photography works? What are we talking about here?
you need like the like the studio with the lighting that's going to light everything evenly and all that. That's maybe not everybody. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not my area of expertise.
Well, okay. I just want to thank everyone who showed up in the comments as well for this, and anyone who comes across it. I hope you guys enjoy it and understand what this thing behind me has been for all this time. And Emilee, again, great to have a conversation with you. You still got a store, so people should check out Mud Hut Illustrations. Illustration, not illustrations. Um, yeah, a couple of really great images. Though some of my favorites aren't always seen. So I remember I messaged you being like, "Where's your image of Noah? I can't
I
find it."
thought that was so funny. And I was like, taking that one out.
You don't? Okay. I mean, all right. That's for another conversation.
No, that's great. No, that's fine. I have the Jonah one though that you showed earlier. That one's still up there. So if anybody wants to check that out, mudhutillustration.com. And really appreciate you inviting me on for this conversation. That was cool.
Thank you. I'll let you get back to your child and your Eastern European life of probably eating cabbage and other other things.
Thank you.
Various pork-based sausages. Yeah, a scanner in a museum. Yoav, this is exactly why I didn't want it. I actually wanted to do this live because this guy has ideas. All right.
Back to work.
Yeah, back to work.
Look.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Emilee. Goodbye.